So this is where wrestling blends in with movies in the topic, especially with this week. There's a lot of wrestling slash movie topics that kind of blend with each other. The first one being that I recently saw the Iron Claw. I went into this with no idea who the Von Erich family was. Again, I've only been a fan since 2019. I'm not a lifelong fan or anything. I don't know who the Von Erichs were. I think this took place like in the 80s when this movie was, when this movie was placed. So I mean, none of this happened in my lifetime either way. But I went into this not knowing who the Von Erich family was, any of the tragedies, none of it. The way this movie explored death was really interesting, but I thought it was really cool. I think it's a really good movie. It's very sad. If you don't know the Von Erich family, just know that it's sad. I wish I had someone had told me that this movie was going to be sad before I watched it, because I was not expecting it to be sad. I thought it was going to be a cute little wrestling movie, to be honest. But yeah, it was really good. I was not expecting it to be that good, but I liked it a lot. I'm also a huge Jeremy Allen White fan. As well as Zac Efron's been really good in his adulthood as well. More movie news with wrestling. Jason Momoa and Roman Reigns are in talks to star, but they have actually been confirmed to be starring in the Street Fighter movie. This cast is absolutely stacked. With Roman Reigns, I believe he's playing Akuma. I'm not a Street Fighter person. I don't know anything about Street Fighter. I was more of a Mortal Kombat person when it came to street fighting games or fighting games. But Roman Reigns being in this movie and playing what I'm assuming is going to be a pretty big role alongside Jason Momoa is really cool. On top of that, they got Cody Rhodes to play Guile. I'm assuming that's how that's pronounced, Guile, in the Street Fighter movie. So you got Cody Rhodes and Roman Reigns both in it. Again, super cool with the wrestlers in the movie there. I'm very excited for the Street Fighter movie. Gonna take a quick pause from Street Fighter to tell you that this next section is my movies and shows section. In this section, I will be going over movies that I've seen recently or shows that I'm currently or have just watched. I'm currently watching a couple different shows right now with my wife and by myself. And then we just watch movies a lot. So I'll be giving movie recommendations as well in this segment. Back to Street Fighter. 50 Cent has also been cast in the Street Fighter movie. He'll be playing Balrog. Again, not sure if I'm getting the pronunciation right. But Roman Reigns, Cody Rhodes, 50 Cent, all in the movie. I believe there's other people in the movie. Hold on. The next is the cast list. There it is. 50 Cent, Orville Peck, Cody Rhodes, Jason Momoa, Roman Reigns. That is Andrew Schultz, the podcaster, playing somebody. David Dalsmachian is also a prominent actor that I've seen a bunch of things from him. They will all be in the Street Fighter movie. So I'm very excited for this, even though I know nothing about Street Fighter. I think it's going to be super cool, just based on the cast alone. The Secret Life of Walter Mitty is my movie recommendation of the week. If you have never seen it before, Ben Stiller plays a man named Walter Mitty who daydreams a lot, and he starts to fall for a girl from work and has trouble. He's working at a failing magazine, and he is working with a photographer that is like super like high profile, and he has to like travel the world to get to this photographer. Really beautiful movie. Ben Stiller, same people who created Severance, created this movie. Wonderful movie. That is my movie recommendation of the week. Jennifer Aniston will be playing Jeanette McCurdy's mom in I'm Glad My Mom Died. This I'm Glad My Mom Died is a book that Jeanette McCurdy wrote. If you're not familiar with Jeanette McCurdy, she was in the show iCarly. She played the best friend. The book is beautiful. It's a beautiful book. We listened to the audio version driving down to Florida a couple years ago. And Jeanette McCurdy's mom was basically insane. If you've ever seen The Bear, it's almost like Carmen's mom in that, but different. Like same flavor, different restaurant kind of thing. But Jennifer Aniston playing the mom, I think will be really cool. I don't know if I've ever seen Jennifer Aniston do anything like this, but this is pretty interesting. I think the movie adaptation or the series adaptation, I'm not sure if it's a movie or series. I think it'll be really good. Again, really good book. If you haven't read it, please go read it or go listen to the audiobook like I did. Jeanette McCurdy did the narration herself for that book, and it was really good. Yeah, we loved it. I am really excited for this movie. It's called The Odyssey. It's by Christopher Nolan. I love Christopher Nolan movies. Oppenheimer was fire. Christopher Nolan, if you are not familiar with, he's the one who did the Dark Knight series. He also did Oppenheimer, which was recently. He's done a bunch of other things, but this one looks really cool. I feel like I've seen like a 70s version of the Odyssey or something like in school, but I mean, Christopher Nolan's movies are always like aesthetically beautiful. So I'm really excited for like that to see that, as well as the cast is also hugely stacked. That right there is a picture of Tom Holland and Matt Damon from sets photos. But there's also Zendaya's in it, Anne Hathaway, Lupita Nyong'o, Robert Pattinson, John Bernthal. Bunch of people is in this movie. I'm very excited for this. This doesn't come out for literally over a year from right now. But hopefully when we see more trailers and stuff like this, I will be talking about this film more. Apparently James Gunn has come out to say that the DC universe will be more like Star Wars rather than the Marvel Cinematic Universe, which I think is pretty interesting. I pretty much was thinking that he was probably just going to do an MCU type of thing where the MCU is basically in order when you do it in release order. There are some like where, like Captain Marvel took place like in the 40s or something like a long time ago, and or the 60s, something like that. And like Captain America is way back in the past too, but it looks like they'll be doing the DC universe more like Star Wars, where there's time frames for things, but then they'll go back in the past and then do some things like that. So there won't be like a huge overarching story necessarily, it feels like, but more like pieces within the same universe, if that makes sense. That's kind of how I took this comment. Different times, different places, different things. So I'm interested to see how that works. I'm very excited for the Superman film. I feel like James Gunn, coming from the MCU, he knows what these universes are supposed to look like, and the fact that he is saying that this is going to be more like Star Wars impresses me as a Star Wars fan. But I trust James Gunn, coming from the MCU with the Guardians of the Galaxy, to handle this universe with much care, because the last universe was shoddy, to say the least, and DC has just been shoddy when it comes to live action things. Their animation is fire, but the live action stuff is not great. So I really want them to, hopefully in a couple years, we're seeing them on the same caliber as MCU and maybe Star Wars as well. That is my take on that. So this is the part of the show where I'm going to talk about shows that I'm currently watching. Family Guy, I've seen Family Guy 1,000 times. This is not my first time ever watching this show. Me and my friends quote this show all the time. Literally, as we're watching this, I'm quoting things while they're saying it on screen, when we're watching it together. This is more of our like casual show where we don't really want to super pay attention to what's going on the screen. But Family Guy is definitely a staple in my life. This is the first time that my wife has seen the show all the way through, and I think we just got to season 5 today. So we've been watching it for a little bit, but we're just getting started. I know there's like 30 seasons, but we're just gonna keep watching it. We're watching it like passively, pretty much. Like whenever we're like eating dinner, we'll just throw on a couple episodes or something. But this is we don't want to do much show, pretty much. The Last of Us. I have been pretty disappointed with the show. I'm not gonna lie. The last season, I'm not sure if it was 2 or 3, was not great. Um, it was only 7 episodes, which felt like a weird number to me when it comes to shows. Um, and I don't know if I really want to give any spoilers, but spoiler alert, I'll stop you now. If you haven't seen Last of Us and you are looking to watch it, in the second episode or third episode, Patrick Pascal dies. They brutally kill him. And they kind of do some, flashbacks to him and his character and stuff like that. But other than that, it's like, whatever. It just was a weird show. There wasn't the zombie aspect of it was almost non-existent. There was some action, but it was more between Bella Ramsey and her characters and some other characters between them and the antagonist of the show, which I've never played the video game before. I really liked the first season of the show. I couldn't wait for these next few seasons, but honestly, I'm not sure how I feel about watching the show moving forward, because I know they're doing another season and they're basing it off of the other character that's in this show, not necessarily about Bella Ramsey's character. I don't know. I just got really disappointed when I saw that show. I'm not gonna lie. Oh, the bear. Oh, the bear. So, I love this show to death. I watched it all the way through season 2 with my wife. And then we started season 3, and for some reason, we just couldn't understand what was happening. I think because we hadn't really, it wasn't fresh in our minds what was going on in the previous seasons, that it kind of was throwing us off. But now that I'm personally rewatching it again, season 3 is awesome. Makes a lot more sense now that I've went back to it. And I'm about to start season 4 here pretty soon. So I've not seen the new season yet, and it just got renewed for season 5. So I'm really excited about that. It's a really good show. Beautifully written, very anxiety. Characters are talking and yelling over each other all day. But it's very good. This is another Jeremy Allen White thing. But yeah, no, very good show. Breaking Bad. I have seen this show all the way through once, but my wife has not. And so I'm trying to get her to watch it after years of her telling me that she probably would never watch it. I finally got her to watch it. We've seen 2 episodes so far. We just started it. But she seems interested in it. We'll see. We'll see how it works. And once we move on from more episodes there, I can enlighten you on how it goes from there. I've been getting her into Breaking Bad, and she has been getting me into Harry Potter. I had seen when I was a kid, I saw the first one. I had not seen, I saw the first and second one, excuse me, Chamber of Secrets and Sorcerer's Stone. And then somehow randomly, when the last one came out, the part 2 one came out, I saw that in theaters with people. I don't know. I don't understand how I got dragged to that. Because I didn't understand any of it and I hadn't seen any of them. But I am watching them now. These are the 3 that I've seen recently. 3, 4, and 5. I'm loving it. Having a good time with it. I can't wait to watch the rest of them. This leads into the next topic, which is that there is a Harry Potter series being casted, and they have found their Hermione, Harry, and Ron. The kid in the middle is Harry, and then the kid on the right is Ron, and that is Hermione. They look good. I'm always when it comes to casting, especially reboots, I'm much more worried about the visual aspect of it when it comes to casting. If you don't kind of look like the character kind of throws me off a little bit. Unless you just completely change like the race or something of the character, then that's fine. That's cool with me. But if you're gonna, get the person, I want it to be pretty much what it's supposed to look like, especially when there's a book or if it's a live, like a biopic thing. I want it to kind of look like the person that they're trying to portray. And Harry Potter was illustrated in the books and has had a whole run with these movies. So now that they're making the series, I'm glad he kind of looks like, and all three of them kind of look good in my opinion. So, and they've casted a lot more people. They casted Malfoy and Snape and a bunch of other people, and they all look really good. I'm excited to see this, especially after watching the movies now. So Marvel stuff will not be under the movies and show stuff because I'm a huge MCU fan. I did not read the comics. When it comes to comic stuff, I kind of lean on my friend Coltrane. Shout out to Coltrane. He's a huge comic book nerd, if you will. He will get me hip on things that I am not hip on. And that is nice to have. But I love Marvel. I've watched all the MCU projects, even the TV shows. If you're not watching the TV shows, you're missing out. If you have not been watching since Endgame, you're missing out. I promise you. The first piece of Marvel news I have is that John Bernthal will return as the Punisher in Spider-Man Brand New Day. Full disclosure, I did not watch the Punisher show, the Netflix series that came out. I watched like half of the Daredevil one, but I kind of got like exhausted with it, so we moved on to a different show. But I've been loving these Spider-Man movies, and I've been loving that they've been bringing back all their old IP, especially with John Bernthal. I love John Bernthal as a actor. He was great in The Walking Dead. He is great in The Bear, and he looks like the Punisher. I mean, that especially when he is the Punisher in those. I've seen clips and stuff like that, but I've not watched the show all the way through. I've heard good things. I would like to go before this movie comes out. Excuse me, which I have a year. It looks like to watch this show. So I'm going to go back and most likely watch the Daredevil Born Again, and the Punisher show, and most likely is the Defenders and everything like that too. That is my plan. The Marvel animation Eyes of Wakanda is coming out. They released a trailer previously. I'm gonna bring that trailer up now because I thought it was a good trailer, and we can watch that here.
Wakanda.
I was not expecting this to be animation either, which is really cool.
Kingdom.
They're using like the what if animation.
Many secrets.
This feels like a prequel series before the Black Panther movies. And it comes out in August. That'd be really cool. I'm interested to see how that works. I think it'd be really cool. I'm very interested in the what if animation, and I think they should do a lot more storytelling with the animation. I think the Star Wars should do the same thing. They have the Clone Wars and Rebels animation. I think they should use that and tell a lot more stories within the universe. I think MCU should do the same thing, especially with this animation aspect. You can do a lot more with a lot less, you know. That is my take on that. Sorry, I'm just trying to get this all set up again, because watching that trailer kind of messed things up for me. Let's see here. Again, shout out to everybody that's in the chat right now. Shout out to everybody watching live. I appreciate you. If you are listening to the podcast audibly, or watching the rewind on YouTube or the VOD on Twitch, I appreciate that as well. But you can watch me live on Wednesdays at 7. Let's see now. Ironheart. What to say about Ironheart? I really like the show. I think it's overly hated. I think the obvious reasons for this character being hated on, which is really annoying. A young black girl taking the throne away from Iron Man somehow is what you guys think is going on. That's not what's happening. This is a completely different character. Just happens to look like Iron Man. But yeah, it's really annoying when things like happen that way. But it is what it is, I guess. I don't like it. I didn't hate it. I didn't hate the show at all. I liked it a lot. It was enjoyable. I do think that the character Riri Williams is a little arrogant, but I think that's kind of the point of her right now. I don't think it's arrogant for the sake of being arrogant. I think she's a young person. I mean, I think she's in her 20s in this show. So, I think a lot of the reason why I think she's arrogant is because of the ending of the show. I will not give it away, but she makes a decision that seems to be basically making a deal with the devil. And I don't like that, but hopefully that isn't really the case and they kind of just framed it as the case. But I'm interested to see her as well as everybody else in the Doomsday movie coming soon, as well as Fantastic Four is coming soon. I'll probably talk about that next week though. This is the Star Wars section. Again, as much as the MCU fan I am also a Star Wars nerd. I love all things Star Wars. I loved Clone Wars. I loved Rebels. I loved all the movies, even the sequels. Rogue One is probably my favorite Star Wars movie. I think it's the best written. Andor, the series was amazing. Ahsoka is very good. I really don't think there's anything I truly don't like in Star Wars. I think there's little things here and there that I really didn't like details, but I don't hate Star Wars. I love Star Wars. I'm one of the few Star Wars fans that actually like Star Wars. If you pay attention to the fandom at all, most of them hate it. Begrudgingly, there's not a lot of Star Wars things to talk about. There's kind of only just one thing that we can talk about here. And it's that Coca-Cola and Star Wars are doing a collab. The same way they did the whole names on the cans and the bottles and stuff like that, they're doing a bunch of Star Wars characters. I don't drink soda anymore. I'm strictly a water guy. But and also even when I did drink soda, I was not big into Coke. I was more of a Diet Coke or maybe a Sprite kind of guy. But I don't think I'll get any of these because of that reason, and we don't really drink soda. But I think these are really cool. I do see that there are 3 bottles exclusive to Walt Disney World. I can give you guys a closer look here. You can see all the different characters on the cans, the tall cans, the small cans, the bottles, and then those 3 bottles right there. I think looks like it's Bo-Katan, I think it's Chewbacca, and a Stormtrooper from the First Order are Disney World exclusive, which is kind of sick. But yeah, no, a really cool idea there. Again, I don't think I'll be able to partake because I do not drink soda. Do a liquid death thing or something, or a water thing, and I will definitely pick it up. But as of right now, I don't think I can do that there.